Hello, everyone. This is Phoenix Tremaine, and today we've got part three of the My General Hospital coverage. Part one was the spoilers for the week of May 27th. Part two was all of the commentary on the other characters that didn't have anything to do with Gregory's passing and their reactions to Gregory's passing. And now part three is rating the actors' performances on how I felt about them getting the news that Gregory passed and how they reacted. Some I thought were horrible, and some I thought were amazing. Tear jerkers deserve an Emmy like today. The great performances. And before we proceed, I'm gonna ask you to hit that like button. I'm gonna ask you to subscribe. It's free to do. It helps out a lot. So if you do those things for me, thank you so much in advance. Also, we have a membership where you get exclusive videos. You get to see videos like this first, and it's a great place to be. And all I ask is that you give it a try. If you like it, stick around. We'd love to have you. So we're going to go ahead and rate the episodes and the actors on how they reacted to Gregory's passing. And in the ones that I want to say, the bottom of the barrel, see, we're going worst to best. And to me, the absolute worst was Brooklyn and Lois, because I really felt like, especially Lois, she barely interacted with Gregory, and they're having this moment that I felt like wasn't earned. And I don't know how you felt about it, but it just kind of felt out of place. And so to me, they were the worst reactions to finding out Gregory had passed and had the worst scene. Moving on to my next one, which is which is Ned in Brooklyn. Now, here's the thing. Ned came on for like, I guess, one or two episodes, and he seemed like he didn't even know what he was doing. Like he got the script at the last minute. His heart wasn't in it. I think somebody in the writer's room was like, well, Ned's her father, so he should be in scenes. And just his facial expressions alone was like, why am I here? so so once again, Brooklyn and Ned were the second worst uh reactions that I felt, because I'm getting Ned's gonna be on this list twice. So he just felt so out of place in these scenes. And so we're gonna move on to the third worst, which hurt my heart because y'all know I love me some Gregory and Tracy. And we had to wait till Friday to see how Tracy would react. And I said, Jane Elliott is an amazing actress, and I know she is going to turn it out. She's going to be one of the best. And I just like couldn't wait. I was like, I can't wait to see, I know Jane Elliott is going to make me cry because she's just that good. And then what we got was this. So when Cody let her know that Gregory had passed away, I was waiting for the tears. I was waiting for that moment where I would like get choked up, and it was like she didn't really feel anything. She looked a little upset, but that's about it. This is somebody she was falling in love with, and not one tear. Um, and I was so disappointed. I said, well, maybe because it's Cody, she's gonna, have a scene with Stella too in this episode. And I said, okay, maybe she's strong in front of Cody, but when she gets in front of Stella, you know, I know she's gonna fall apart. She's gonna really give us a great monologue. She's gonna do something, but no, that scene is the next worst of the performances, mostly because it was so disappointing. I wanted drama. I wanted to cry. I wanted to feel something. I wanted to feel some emotions, but she didn't really seem to care that much. And the fact that she was like, yeah, well, let me go ahead and pay for whatever medical. Gregory has money. Ben has money. Chase just married a woman, her granddaughter, who has millions of dollars too. Money is not the issue. Not dropping a tear is the issue. So yes, I was extremely disappointed in her reaction to Gregory's passing, and so that made it the fourth worst performance to me because she had two scenes. So she had two of the worst scenes about Gregory's passing, and so now we're going to double back to Ned because I was actually upset because we had this scene right here with Lois and Ned, where Ned was like, my mother, she actually had feelings for Gregory. Maybe he didn't know because he's barely on the show. They don't really give him that many scenes. But I vividly remember him saying that he was going to go to the stables and tell his mother that Gregory had passed. And so I was upset because, she wasn't in that episode. And I said, oh, they are not going to have Tracy find out what happened to Gregory when it was off camera. So I was like, oh, I was pissed. 24 hours. I was mad. I was like, we're not going to get to see Tracy reaction to finding out Gregory passed away. And then we did, and I was disappointed. So, so that's why we double back to Ned because Ned was supposed to tell her, but clearly he didn't. So let's move on to before we get to the good performances, we're going to move on to the last worst performance. And it hurts me because this is one of my favorite characters since the 90s. But look at this face. Bam. That is not the face of a loved one who just found out that your father passed away and that, she loves you, so she has some compassion for you. This is like the writers want to break them up. Um, this is a moment in time that tests you as a couple. When a parent passes away, or a child passes away, or a sibling passes away, someone very close to you passes away, this is when you need your significant other. This is when they need to be compassionate. And yes, she saw that he took a drink and he's an addict, but his father just passed away. And she decided that she was going to take his daughter because he was drinking. And she's giving him ultimatums like, you take your butt down to the meeting. You know, I'm like, what am I watching right now? These are supposed to be two characters that love each other, and she has no compassion for him. And let me tell you, when a person has been drinking, you know, in that moment for that reason, that is not the time to give a sermon. That is not the time to give an ultimatum. And then when he gives her an opportunity to either stick around and maybe show him some love and compassion or get out, what did Liz do? She bounced. She was like, I'm out of here. He's not the one I need. You're supposedly his love interest. What do you mean in the worst possible moment that he has to endure that you're not the one for him in that moment? And that was like, do the writers hate Liz? What's going on with this? Because, when a person has been drinking, you know, that they're not necessarily in their right mind. She doesn't know how much he drank. That's the first bottle he drank. She clearly smelled it on his breath. when she was looking at him, and then she went into um to like, mama mode, I guess, where, she was like, get to a meeting and I'm taking your daughter. He's like, no, you're not. Get out. My daughter. This is my house. Get out. So I really feel like the writers are kind of putting Alexis and Finn together. And I think that's what's going to end up happening because when Finn needed to find somebody to take care of Gregory, he went to Alexis. When he was tempted to fall off the wagon, he talked to Alexis. When he accidentally took a drink, he talked to Alexis, not Liz. So so it's like either the writers didn't know how to write this scene or they're just finding ways to show you that they're not compatible. But we're going on because it's time to start talking about the good performances. And we knew that this actor was going to do well in the scene because when he was in the scene with Willow when she lost her baby, he outacted her. And it wasn't his baby. Chase. Chase did a good job, but I feel like Chase could have done a better job with a better scene partner. Now, I know I've been hard on Amanda, who plays Brooklyn, but this was the moment where, he needed to feel comfortable in that moment to sort of like fall apart a little bit, like Liz should have let Finn do, which Chase eventually let Finn do. And just console him. And, just like Jason did on Monday when he had his facial expressions listening to Sonny and Carly, and he looked so heartbroken and he didn't have to say a word. I needed Amanda to have some of that moment. I needed her to be like Steve Burton in that moment for her face and her body language to show, everything he needed in that moment, especially since they write them like they're some kind of super couple and they're not. I still want Chase back with Willow, but okay. So so he did do a great job and I did get choked up a little, didn't cry. But like I said, I feel like it's because it was inequality in the scene partner. And maybe, and I'll say this as a positive with Amanda. I don't know. Maybe she did what Moore West and Jeannie Francis did on that bridge, where they sort of allowed each other to have their moments, and they had a terrific chemistry. So maybe she was stepping back to let him be able to pull that performance out and get his Emmy reel or whatever he needed to do. But I just feel like the chemistry is not there and it didn't work for me. But his performance did. Moving on to the next best performance, and that would be Chase and Finn. And this was a really good scene because Chase came and gave Finn the love and support that he needed. They both lost their father. And so this was a very important moment for them. And he knew that Finn was drinking. He didn't say, get out and go to a meeting. He's like, I'm gonna love you anyway, but we're gonna have this moment together. And that's what, love looks like, sibling love, romantic love. You understand what that person is going through. You let them feel their feelings, and then once they feel safe with you, then they can let out those emotions that they're trying to hold in or they're trying to cover with alcohol. So we're going to move on to the third best performance, which is, of course, Josephine, who plays Violet. I was like so mad at Ian McCoy because of her in the Asian, I can't remember her name, but the Asian actress that plays Wendy, who had to drop out because she was too old for the younger actress category. and younger performer category. And then Eden McCoy was up there with like, competing against 8-year olds and whatnot. And she beat out little kids. And it just wasn't a good look. The younger performer category should be for someone like Josephine for this scene. She deserves an Emmy over this. But the idea that she would have to go up against somebody like Laura West or Jeannie Francis or Finola Hughes, to get an Emmy is stupid. It's ridiculous. So they need to bring back the younger performer category, lower the age, and because she needs one. I believe she's going to be a great actress in the future, and this is just a beginning for her. And yes, she had me all choked up because she did an amazing job, and her and Finn together. And this is what I mean by allowing an actor to have their moment. That's what Michael Easton did, and Michael Easton plays Finn. That's what he did. He let Josephine just is either Josephine or Josephine, Violet have her moment, let her cry, let her do what she needed to do. He paused, let her do what she needed to do. He came in supportively, and that's what Brooklyn was supposed to be doing. But I'm gonna let that go because we're gonna go to the great performance, the number one performance of the week, and y'all all know who it is because this one actually made me cry, and that is of course Michael Easton, on that bed, with his father's body and everything he was going through. And I talked about this on the live with the members that, I got the call when my mother passed away. A neighbor checked on her and said that they didn't think she was alive. So I had to go to my mother's apartment and found her, passed away. So it kind of brought some of them feelings I had in that moment of finding her. And it really touched me. And that's why I feel like the only person that deserves an Emmy is Michael Easton. He put his heart and soul into his performance. He did an amazing job. He did a great job. He did everything that needed to be done this week. And I can't give him any higher praises because he did the thing. He did what needed to be done. And like I said, he made me cry. But there's two other things that are honorable mentions that have to be talked about. Have to be talked about because why they had to go and do this to one of my favorite General Hospital actresses, this scene made absolutely no freaking sense. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Liz snitching on Liz snitching on Finn to his boss about him drinking when she knows he's an addict and putting Portia in a difficult position because if he's relapsed, how can she in good faith have him work with patients unless she can be sure that he's gone through some rehab or some therapy or something. So, and look at that facial expression. Liz looks like she's snitching. And you snitch on a manager you love and you go, oh wait, you are the chief of staff or chief of the hospital, whatever her title is. So and Portia looked like, why did this, what, just tell me this? Because now I gotta make decisions. And if you look at the spoilers or look at my video for the spoilers, Portia does find herself next week or this coming week in a tight position where she's not sure what she should do. And I'm like, does Liz hate Finn? Because I said, have her talk to Maxie. Hell, have her talk to Stella. Stella is the person that Elizabeth should have been talking to, and she was in the hospital. She was right in the hospital. So there were a lot of people Liz could have talked to. She could have talked to Jason. She could have talked to anybody, but not Portia and not Terry. She didn't talk to Terry, but there's no difference. There's no difference. They're both the hospital chief of staff, joint chiefs of staff, And this was like the WTF moment of the week. Liz snitching on Finn. God, you know what? So in the comment section, please let me know how you felt about Lynn snitching on Finn and that he's supposed to be her love interest. So this was just crazy to me. And I'm such a big Liz fan that I'm always rooting for her to have good storylines, but this ain't a good storyline. And it ain't and it's not a good look. But moving on to the last honorable mention as I wrap up this video, Tracy mentioned to Cody that he reminds her a lot of Gregory. I don't see it. Once again, bad writing. I don't see it. Gregory was extremely principled. You know, he toned her down. You know, Cody's a con man, you know, that's constantly getting in trouble. So how does that equate to her seeing him as like a younger version of Gregory? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. Like I said, bad writing. But somebody online said it inspired them to go find old pictures of Gregory to see what he looked like when he was younger. And this is what she posted. And then I remembered, oh yeah, Gregory Harrison was a sex symbol back in the 80s. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna end it. You know, Gregory was that dude in the 80s. So I'm going to miss him on General Hospital. I said this in my other Gregory video about, you know, his passing, that I didn't like the character in the beginning, but he won me over. And when him and Tracy got into scenes together, and that was just pure magic, you know, it made me love the character even more. I mean, I was like a broken record, you know, misdiagnosis, misdiagnosis, misdiagnosis. Say the man is misdiagnosed so that he can stay on the show and, you know, can be cured, because ALS is real and it affects families and people all the time. So, you know, even though it's fiction, you can't give somebody a real world problem and then give them a miracle cure. The only thing they could have done was a misdiagnosis. And I think if we had kept the other writing team, that seemed like the direction they were going in when they started bringing up Marshall being misdiagnosed and things like that. But his passing needed to happen because if they weren't going to keep him on the show, that they needed to let him go, because we didn't see him on the floor, unable to move, scaring his granddaughter. You know, he went from, you know, walking normally to having a cane, and he was just barely making it. So I don't think it would have been entertaining to just watch him just go downhill, 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 downhill. So the only thing I would ask, if anyone from General Hospital writing staff ever sees this video, give us a break. No more long drawn out, you know, somebody's caught this and then we got to watch them die for a year or two, you know, or somebody has something like Willow and we got to watch them deteriorate for a year. It's not entertaining. It should be a storyline that happens once in a while. But ever since Oscar, it's like mandatory that okay, so that person finally passed away. Now who can we give, you know, something to next and watch them slowly, you know, reach the grave, you know, like Mike, the way they dragged out Willow. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but Gregory. Um, Let me know your thoughts on that. Are you good with them doing these kind of storylines? Do you need a break from watching your faves, like, you know, slowly, you know, fall apart? And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I felt like this story deserved its own video and not just part of the regular commentary for the week. And I'll be on pins and needles. I can't wait to see what you guys say in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. and happy Memorial Day. Bye-bye.